Hello, everybody, and welcome to the official day 3 of our Eating for Your Brain Masterclass. As you're popping on, I definitely wanted to apologize and thank you for being patient as I learn and fail with technology. So, I had tried a streaming platform where I could have people both on Facebook and those who weren't on Facebook attend our masterclass. But that did not work out. So we are going to redo the masterclass day 3, and then I will still send out the recordings to those who registered. So if you know someone who registered who is not on Facebook, they will still get the recordings just a little later than I had intended. So, again, welcome to day 3. As you're popping on, say hey, introduce yourself, let me know that you're here. That would be awesome. And then if you are catching the replay, then go ahead and um, comment hashtag replay so I know that you watched it. That helps me in making sure that I'm able to give you guys exactly what you're wanting and needing. So, I say this whole week, last week and today, we have learned all about how to eat to optimize brain health and prevent and reverse Alzheimer's or cognitive decline in general. So, I want to recap what we learned last week. We went over the way of eating that was specifically designed to optimize brain health. This was designed by Dr. Bredesen and his team. Dr. Bredesen is the research pioneer who has, found and discovered the concept that Alzheimer's is caused by many different things, or a combination of different things, and the combo may differ for everybody, but there are at least 36 different factors that can contribute to it. So he's the guy who pioneered that research, who has actually had success in both preventing and reversing Alzheimer's. And so the way of eating that they came up with is called KetoFlex 12-3. And what that is a way of eating that enhances your body's ability to be metabolically flexible so that you can use either ketones or glucose for your brain fuel. And so ketones are breakdown products of fat, and glucose is the breakdown product of carbohydrates. So the standard American diet is very high in simple carbs and sugar. So our body becomes trained to really only use glucose, and it doesn't really know how to use fat anymore. So that's what this way of eating is designed to do. It is basically to give your flexibility back. So all that being said, what that consists of, we went over on day 1, what that might look like for a particular macronutrient target and all the delicious foods you can eat on following this food plan. We covered that on day 2, as well as some tips for tracking, making sure that you're actually getting into ketosis and making the most of this eating plan. So, then today we are going to go over pitfalls and workarounds. So now we are up to speed, and let's see, let me make sure I covered everything before we dive right in. I was going to check on y'all's homework. I hope you did the homework from day 2. It was just you writing down or thinking about what food you are most excited about to eat more of following a KetoFlex 12-3 eating plan. And I had shared that mine was the avocado. So if you had not either shared that or done that yet, I invite you to do that now. You can put it in the chat if you want. But as you also probably know, I was doing some giveaways throughout the masterclass. So for day one, so I now announced on day two that Miss Debbie won the meal planner. And then today, I wanted to announce that Mason Drummond won 5 sticks of Element, which is the cleanest electrolyte solution I have found on the market and the only one that I recommend. And so I will have a grand prize that I will announce later on this week. But it is a free 30-minute coaching consult with me to personalize your macronutrient targets to be able to get you into ketosis and start optimizing your brain health. So that's pretty big. So I'm really excited to offer that. So the way you get into win a giveaway is by participating on the live, or commenting on the replay, doing the homeworks, all of that kind of stuff. So continue to do that. You guys have been awesome and making me feel very welcome here. So I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and dive in to the pitfalls and workarounds, shall we? So the first one that I see a lot is the keto flu. And I usually see this when people start keto with really no plan. They don't track that, like we talked about in day two. And a lot of times it happens or occurs from what we call dirty keto. And so a lot of people that go the keto route really only eat meat and cheese, which if you're going to be fueling your brain and your body with food, there are exceptions. I will say that there are exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, most people really benefit from getting a wide variety of different plants, including all the non-starchy vegetables, the healthy fats. And so, and dairy can actually cause inflammation in a lot of people. So that combination with, not having a lot of the plant compounds on board can set you up for the keto flu. So one, eating the way that Keto Flex 12.3 outlines minimizes keto flu on its own, but there are still ways to combat and mitigate and minimize the keto flu as you're transitioning from using glucose as your fuel to ketones as your fuel. So symptoms of keto flu include like headache, brain fog, nausea, bad breath, lightheadedness. Some people get a fast heart rate for a little bit. People get leg cramps. You might even feel more fatigued, or if you are an athlete, have poorer athletic performance during that keto flu period. And it usually only lasts a few days, but that few days can be hard. So to get through that and to prevent it, we want to make sure that you're really hydrated, okay? So yes, hydrating with water, but as you're transitioning, and in the Keto Flex 12.3 food plan, there is a period of fasting. So while you're doing that, you're actually losing more electrolytes or using them up than you would normally. So we definitely want to be replacing your electrolytes as well, which is where Element comes in. I mentioned that just a little bit ago. It is my absolute favorite electrolyte solution, and you can find it on my website, oakleywellness.com, on the brands or the my favorites page, under the brands that I love and use myself. So definitely go check that out. There's tons of different flavors. My two favorite are raspberry and watermelon, and it is designed to taste salty. That is the point. It's not like salt overload, but it's not super sweet like Gatorade or something like that. Those solutions actually do contain sugar, and they can cause inflammation on their own, even though they're trying to do a good thing for your body. So, water intake, the goal is at, at least half, but optimally 2/3 of your body weight. So I'll give you an example. I weigh 130 pounds or 35 pounds. So my goal target for water in ounces is anywhere from 70 to 90 ounces. I will tell you, I don't get that every day, but that is my goal. So another thing that you can do to avoid the keto flu or get rid of it if you have it is to take a small amount of MCT oil. And MCT oil comes from coconuts. It's called, or it stands for medium chain triglycerides. And it basically helps you stay or get into ketosis. So you would just take like a teaspoon, not a lot at all. Trust me, you don't want to take a lot of this right away because it can cause stomach upset or GI upset. So definitely, if you need more than that, just go slow and you'll be okay. So those are my top two ways to get rid of and avoid the keto flu: hydrate and use MCT oil. So does anybody have, or if anybody has questions about that or about any of the pitfalls or tips I'm going to go through today, just drop them in the chat as you think of them, and we will go from there. So, okay, the next one kind of goes hand in hand. This is, what do you do when you have a sugar or carb craving? Because in order to get into ketosis, you have to drastically reduce the number of carbs that you eat. And so mainly the carbs that you will be eating come from non-starchy vegetables. They do add up, but they're not going to be adding up to a ton. So you're still eating a large volume of food, but it's not as calorie dense as what you were eating. So to combat sugar or carb cravings, you, you can also use MCT oil. So MCT oil for everything, right? Not exactly, but in this case, yes. So a teaspoon during the first several weeks especially can help produce that mild ketosis that I was talking about. And then you can switch over to other forms of healthy fat like extra virgin olive oil, nuts, and avocados. And that'll help keep your cholesterol numbers healthy too. Too much MCT oil or too much coconut oil can raise your cholesterol. But when you mix it in and get that variety like we're wanting to do anyway, then it's not going to be a problem, okay? So let's see, you can also use small amounts of stevia. So stevia and monk fruit are non-nutritive sweeteners, and they are natural, which means that they are not a chemical. Well, technically they're plant chemicals, but they're not man-made. So your body actually knows how to digest them and use them, which is great. So you can use a little bit of that to get through that sugar craving. And you can even, this is my secret weapon, guys, you can use L-glutamine 500 milligram tablets. This is particularly really good for sugar or alcohol cravings, okay? And I want to say real quick, the sugar and carb cravings can be common with stress. Hello, anytime in America, right? Or during the easy or early stages of shifting your diet. So that is where these secret weapons are going to come in handy for you. So again, those are MCT oil, stevia, and L-glutamine tablets. Okay, so let's switch gears real quick and talk about a swap. So I don't know about you, I am a big fan of ice cream. So instead of conventional dairy ice cream, which now we know to be inflammatory, and if you can find or afford a 2 dairy ice cream, great, go for it. But also be sure to look at what they use for sweetener. If it's regular sugar, that's a no go. So, but you can make your own. And that's what we do. So I have lots and lots of, okay, maybe not like thousands, but definitely a large handful of ice cream recipes on my Pinterest account. I will drop that in the chat. Here, let me see if I can do that real quick. Copy link. Paste. There we go. Okay. So that is my Pinterest profile. If you want to follow me, you can find all. Did that post twice? No. Okay, great. But you can find all of those recipes there. So basically, what you're doing is you're going to use a natural sweetener like honey. You can use a little bit of coconut sugar, but this is in really low amounts. You can use stevia, but you're going to use coconut milk as the base of the ice cream. So that is awesome. And then from there, you can flavor it however you like, as long as it falls within the keto flex. So you can add cinnamon, make cinnamon ice cream. That is my personal favorite. You can just make it vanilla. That's totally fine. Clearly, you can make it coconut if you want to. You can put nuts in it. You can put dark chocolate in it. Lots and lots of options. You can put berries in it. Oh, that would be good. Ooh, you could blend it up with strawberries, make strawberry ice cream. Now I'm getting hungry again. Anyway, okay, so that segues into the next swap really easily. Chocolate, right? So ideally, the chocolate that you'll be eating as your indulgence or one of your indulgences would be organic dark chocolate. That is the best form for you, and a square or two will do it. You don't really need any more of that, more than that. If you're really wanting more than that, have the square or two, set a timer. For 5 minutes. If the craving's still there, have one more square and call it quits. But what you're looking for in this dark chocolate is at least 70% cacao. The darker the better. But if you're, just now getting into the dark chocolate realm, it is much more bitter than milk chocolate. So starting at 70% would be a good idea. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about water for a second. This can also be a struggle, just drinking the amount of water that your body needs. So I said earlier about 2/3 of your body weight. That is a lot. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I get tired of what water tastes like, even if it is really clean water. So first and foremost, the water that you're drinking, you want to make sure is filtered. I will post the link to the Shop My Favorites page that I mentioned earlier. I do list several water filters there, but y'all, you would cry if you knew what all was in the water that you're drinking. And so we've got heavy metals on board. We've got, mold toxins on board from different areas sometimes, even medications from other people. So medications are digested and then eliminated out of the body, and those elimination products go into our water system. And I am telling you, I have heard this directly from water people. They don't have the funding or the equipment to filter out medications. They don't even have the funding or equipment to filter out all of the heavy metals. So that's where like high fluoride, high arsenic, I know I live in a high arsenic area. You can go on, I forget the website, but you can look up what metals or what the tap water in your area contains. So I really want to stress the importance of drinking filtered water. And y'all, please, please, please do not drink water from a plastic bottle. The water that goes into the plastic bottle is very clean, but plastic chemicals from the plastics leach into the water within 2 minutes of it being in the plastic bottle. So then it gets stored in a warehouse and shipped, and all of that's in hot conditions that makes the plastic leach even more, and then you drink it. So not good. Definitely try and store your water in glass or stainless steel. Those are going to be your best bets. Now, okay, we're through um, the importance of filtered water, but let me go back to that thing I said where I get tired of tasting water, right? So what do you do then? So there's a few different options. My favorite and the healthiest for you is to make tea, whether it's green tea or herbal tea, it doesn't really matter. But that's a great way to play with flavors. You can also add different fruits or vegetables to your water to steep. Now, keep in mind you still want to follow the recommendations from KetoFlex. So, if you're going to use fruit, we want to use berries or citrus, but you could add cucumber, you can add herbs like mint. To really change up the flavor. So that has helped me and many of my clients out a lot. Okay, so again, if you guys have questions as we go along, then just feel free to put them in the chat and I will be happy to answer those. Okay, so one that I hear a lot is that this whole thing is too complicated, and that's okay. You do not have to dive headfirst into this. Will that get you faster results? Yes. But is that the way that everyone needs to go about it? Not necessarily. So, my recommendation for that would be just to start with one thing: eliminate sugar, then move on to eliminating gluten, and then the other things that we talked about last Wednesday to stay away from. And you can even just try one new vegetable a week. That's it. Baby steps. You are making progress, and that is what matters. Okay. I also hear this one a lot. I don't want to give up the foods that I love, right? Okay. So, a couple of things here. One, there are a lot of healthy options nowadays, or healthy recipes of some of the foods that we love. I actually just discovered this new brand, very, very clean pizza bites, right? So I will drop the link to that after we are done because I have to go find the link. But let me write a note to myself. And I want to say there is a coupon code right now, so I'll add that if you guys want to go look at it. I did try them and they actually taste really good and they are super clean. They are more of the indulgences category because the pocket part is made out of cassava, which is a root vegetable, which is more of a starchy vegetable. But I mean, what a great gluten-free, dairy-free game day option nowadays. It's football season, so like this would be my go-to for sure to take to a tailgate. So yeah, sorry, that was kind of a side note, but I was impressed, so I'm gonna drop that link with you and share those with you because they were quite delicious. Okay, so yes, you can find alternatives or create a healthy version of something with substitutes like using canned coconut milk for dairy or using almond flour for breadcrumbs or something like that. Lots and lots of ways to do that. You can also parry the loss with a replacement. Find something that you can have that you really enjoy and truly just enjoy that thing. Or, if you're having, wanting your, I don't know, some dessert that you are wanting, make another dessert that you can have. I know there's lots and lots of options, delicious options. I mean, we're talking popsicles, we're talking ice cream, we're talking cake. All of those things you can make keto flex friendly. So, okay. And to sum this one up, your taste buds will change when you eat fresh, whole, healthy foods. And the longer you do that, the more those other foods are not going to taste as good as they used to. And that's because they're processed. They're not natural. We made them like they're man made. And our bodies just doesn't, they don't know how to respond to them. Okay. And they're designed to addict you, keep you addicted. There is a whole science behind that. I won't necessarily go into that today, but they they are intentionally designed to keep you buying them. So, okay, now let's move on to alcohol. So, a single glass of wine a few nights a week is fine for most people, but especially with really any kind of alcohol, including red wine. But you'll want to track your glucose and your ketones because everyone's going to be different. Now, and depending on what your alcohol preferences are, a very sweet wine or a mixed cocktail is probably going to affect your sugar way more than if you have, a liquor on the rocks or something like that. I will say, period, beer is off the table because it is from wheat. Whiskey is hit or miss. You'll have to, again, look at your glucose and ketones. Many people can tolerate them because it is just a distillate. It is not like the gluten is not in there anymore. So, okay, everyone will be different. You need to track on alcohol. Cool. Okay, let's talk coffee. Coffee is fine, y'all, but too much can make sleeping difficult and is actually stressful to your adrenals. So we just want to drink in moderation, right? That's why it's in the indulgences category. And tea is also fine, but you need to make sure it's the kind that you steep, not the kind that you get in a plastic bottle. One, remember what I said about plastic bottles, but two, they're usually loaded with sugar or a fake sugar that your body doesn't recognize. Okay, now we're getting into some of the big hitters, okay? I hear this one all the time. If I crave something you're telling me not to have, shouldn't I listen to my body? Well, that's a good question. The answer is not necessarily because of the way these foods work on the addiction centers of the brain. So, a lot of the additives work on the addiction centers. Gluten and sugar and dairy are actually metabolized to molecules that bind to your morphine receptors. So we are literally addicted to these foods. And that's why they put them in almost every single processed food out there. It is to get you hooked and get you buying more. It is just a marketing scheme, okay? So to deal with this, I want you to try the L-glutamine tabs, the MCT oil, water, or exercise. All of those are really good ways to combat cravings. And we talked about cravings before, but bottom line, try to obey the drives that are compatible with our evolution and resist those that are incompatible. So if they're compatible with our evolution, like, oh, I'm craving a piece of fruit, fine. Oh, I'm craving this Pop-Tart. God did not make Pop-Tarts, we did. So that would not be compatible with our evolution. Okay, Marilyn said, I make peach, watermelon, wild grape popsicles with almond milk. That sounds delicious. So with Keto Flex, I would encourage you to try and play with the different fruits that are better for balance or keeping your blood sugar low. But oh my gosh, that sounds delicious. I might have to, drive all the way out there just to try one. Anyway, okay. Thank you for sharing that, Marilyn. I also hear this one a lot, and this is the last one I'm going to end with for today. And it's probably the most important. But I hear I'm too busy all the time. So I want to take a minute and say that you will save yourself years of time and money if you focus on addressing cognitive decline for several months now. Okay. I don't know if you guys have looked into how expensive memory care or assisted living is, but the average in North Alabama is $6K a month. And that's not including doctor's visits or anything like that. That is just to get you a roof over your head. Okay. So it's very, very expensive. And so I would advise you to think, just ponder for yourself, to use your time wisely now. Okay? You really don't want to ignore those senior moments. Senior moments are not normal. Well, yes, okay. I said that correctly. They might be common, but they are not normal. Okay, those are the beginning signs of cognitive decline. So we don't want to ignore those. Okay, so on a happier note, some happy side effects if you do follow the Keto Flex 12-3 eating plan is just better health overall. I've seen way more energy, better mood, weight loss. You're actually able to relax. What is that, right? I've also seen people come out with feelings of inner peace and joy. And you might say that's hard to believe that comes from just eating, but you're fueling your whole body, your brain, your mind, your spirit, all of it. So I do see that a lot. Oh, Marilyn, let's see. Can you please spell what was it that I mentioned? Let's see. Oh, glutamine. I'll type it in the chat. L-glutamine. And let me get another link for you, because not all supplements are created equal. Let me get you the link to my online dispensary, and these are all brands that I recommend. And wow, my computer's being really slow. Fun stuff. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking while that pulls up, but oh, there it goes. Okay. Here we go. Where did it go? Okay. Pasting now. If you're interested in getting a high quality, so you know that it's going to work and be safe for you, supplement, you can, that is not the link that I meant to paste there. Goodness gracious. Let's try this again. There it is. Okay, so you can make yourself an account, and I have several different recommendations for plenty of different supplement brands for specific supplements, but especially the L-glutamine. So, all right, I've got that on there. Now, okay, just a quick summary again of the whole week. We talked about what Keto Flex 12-3 is. We talked about what it looked like and tips for tracking to make sure that it's actually working for you. And then today we talked about workarounds and pitfalls, some of the most common ones that I see. So let's see. Again, the short-term goal of eating this way is to get into ketosis, to heal insulin resistance and reverse cognitive decline. The long-term goal is to create metabolic flexibility, which is the ability to be able to burn either fat or glucose as fuel. And that helps restore and support healthy cognition long-term. So, let's see, if you are watching with me, if you will comment your top takeaway from the entire masterclass, that would be awesome. I really want to hear what you guys have learned. I know that when I was going through this research the first time, my biggest takeaway was that, I mean, you really do need to track to really understand what level of ketosis you're getting in, because you can be too far into ketosis. It's really hard to do that with food, but you want to make sure you're in an optimal range. So that was my biggest takeaway. Um, so, uh, Oh, Marilyn, you are so welcome. You are so welcome for spelling that out. I always forget, it's part of my work. I work in pharmacy. So I joke around all the time that I went to school for 4 years to learn how to spell and pronounce big words. But that is a lot of what I do. So anyway, I'm glad I was able to do that for you. So, we have gone over a ton of info this week, and we were just talking about eating, right? But nutrition is actually just one aspect of a full Alzheimer's prevention or reversal approach. So some of you may want more detail, like what else goes into this approach, maybe some personalization, more recipes, even a coach to help you every step of the way to maximize your success. But whatever it is, I can try and help create. Maybe I can create a personalized roadmap for you. I can do a personalized food plan, lifestyle habit upgrades, targeted supplement recommendations, and more as part of a comprehensive protocol that's designed specifically for where you're at and where you want to be. So maybe you're even looking for one-on-one coaching and not just a roadmap, to help you through that whole process successfully, because it can be hard. So I actually wanted to announce I am launching a 6-month one-on-one coaching program that includes a cognoscopy, a personalized roadmap, and one-on-one coaching for 6 months to help you through the ups and downs of successfully implementing that roadmap. And since I'm so excited about this coaching program, I wanted to offer 15% off to the first 3 people who are ready to tackle change and put an end to the brain fog, the senior moments, and the fear of the slow decline. So that is available for the first 3 people who want to do the coaching. So either way, though, if working together in any capacity to optimize your brain health and prevent or reverse cognitive decline is what you're looking for, I would love to chat with you. So let's hop on a call together and make sure that all of your questions are answered and that you have absolute clarity on what your next steps are. So I will also drop the link to my calendar in the comments, and I'll do that after we sign off for the evening. But again, I will thank you guys for being here with me through the ups and downs of technology learning and getting through this Eating for Your Brain Masterclass. I really appreciate you being here with me and spending these evenings with me. So remember, later on this week, I will announce the grand prize winner. That is a free coaching consult with me to personalize your macronutrient targets to be able to get you into ketosis. So thank you for being here with me. Do you guys have any last minute questions? Marilyn said your takeaway, make one change or so at a time so you don't get discouraged. That is fabulous. Absolutely. It's all about baby steps, because the higher you jump, the farther you fall, right? So if instead of trying to jump up, 4 stairs, if you just take one step, then you're much, much less likely to fall backwards, right? So that is awesome. And the granola snack, that absolutely, I actually have some some with me right now. I made it with cashews this week, so Also very delicious with cashews, for the record. But I'm so glad that you enjoyed that recipe as well. So if you guys have any other questions, just keep posting them in here. If you're watching the replay, post your questions. I will respond and get answer those for you. And I will again link both my calendar and the pizza bites after we sign off. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I can't wait to see you on Thursday for Thursday Thoughts. All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye.